Hey all, tonight I'm getting ready for tennis. So I'm gonna get unready while I talk about all the things that goes into being an influencer that I did not know when I became an influencer by accident. So I already made a video talking about my journey with influencing, but I'm just gonna rehash it and talk about all the things that I wish I would have known before this. So I'm just gonna use makeup remover wipes to make taking off my makeup so much easier. I started creating content in 2020 with a lot of people did. And I was originally posting science content because I was a scientist. I was a biomedical engineer, and it was something that I really enjoyed doing. Creating content was my hobby at first, as it is for most people. I got my first brand deal on Instagram at the end of 2021. And then in 2022, my monetization soared. And that was when I had initially entertained the thought of doing this full time. However, I was in graduate school. I was doing a PhD in biomedical engineering, and I was like, I kind of want this degree to be worth it. So maybe I should just try to find a job within the biomedical engineering realm or something that would be related to it that I can use my degree in. So I actually did hunt for jobs and look for jobs to work, and I ended up hating all of them. But at the same time that I was interviewing for jobs, I was also making money online. I had a bunch of brand deals. I had a lot of stuff going on online, and it was really booming and just popping off. So in 2023, I decided to officially make the leap. I moved from Delaware to LA, and that's when I started to take on content creation full time. Now, before I'd even made the move, I hadn't really gone to any influencer events. So I think that was the first thing that really shocked me when I moved to LA, because LA and New York City are the two biggest hubs for influencing in the United States. And it's where you get to meet essentially your coworkers, because everything is online and you don't know people in real life. And it was the first time that I really started to, understand how the industry worked in real life, as opposed to just getting brand deals online. Because up until that point, brands would just discover me through TikTok, and they would make me an offer, and then we would kind of negotiate, and then I would do the brand deal. So everything up until this point was all virtual, and I didn't have to do any in-person work, which was something that really attracted me to the job in the first place. So by going through two influencer events, that's where I really started to treat it like a job, because at your job, at your 9 to 5, you don't like everybody you work with. And, there were people that you're cordial with, that you're say hello to and stuff. And there are people that you hang out with outside of work. And online, it seems like everybody is, all really close friends. But the reality of it is that most people were just friendly to each other. It's not I see a ton of people outside of the events that I go to. Even if I do, I know those people don't see a lot of people outside of the events that they go to too. So it very much is just a normal job in that regard. But the other thing that I think people just do not understand, and it's why they can't become a full-time creator, is that there's a lot more that goes into it than other than just posting videos if you make this a long-term career. And I have been doing this in total for almost 4 years now. I'm trying to get off this mascara, and it's waterproof, so it's a little bit difficult. But I've been doing this for almost 5 years, and I started doing creator coaching with someone that I know in real life. And as the weeks have gone on, and I keep meeting up with her and explaining things to her, I'm actually vlogging it here on YouTube, so you guys can see the creator coaching videos. But as we're going throughout the different weeks, she's always wow, there's just so much more into this that I didn't know about. I didn't understand how you did this. I didn't understand, this, but this is a lot more in depth and more in detail. And I'm yeah, if this is something that you want to monetize and do full time, not just your hobby, but something that you really want to monetize and do, it's something that you have to work on and do. And I think the main reason that stops people from actually there's a lot of reasons why people don't end up becoming full-time creators. For one thing, it is the delayed gratification, because everyone's delayed gratification is not at the same time. When you go to college, college is gonna be 4 years. As long as you go into your classes, you get the classes you need for your curriculum, and you're done. That is delayed gratification, but you still have an endpoint in mind. You still know when it ends. Whereas when you're creating content online, you don't know when you're gonna have a viral video. You don't know if you're ever gonna get a viral video, right? You are just posting and hoping that your content is being seen by the right people. And there are of course different strategies that you can do to for SEO and all these other things, but essentially, you don't know when your big break is going to come. And a lot of people don't actually make it to the big break because they don't withstand that entire time period to keep creating content. The other thing that really people aren't really cognizant of, and I see this a lot with like younger creators who are just coming out of college, is that like they don't recognize that this is still a professional job. Like even though you are online and you can have your online personality and do what it is you need to do, when you get into a room with brand teams or with people who are in charge of signing your check, like you have to be professional. And that is lost. That is a lost art, and not just the influencing industry, but also just in the corporate, white collar world as well. Like, I don't know what is out people that don't understand what professionalism is and is not, but that brings me, it's my next point, which I'm gonna do after I do a double cleanse. This mascara is not coming off. Okay, I'm back. So the other thing that you will realize, the longer you are on the internet, the more you will realize that most people, and I mean adults with like kids and credit cards and 9-to-5s, most people do not have reading comprehension skills. And it is terrifying. You can make a video on how I use my hair steamer in my wash day routine, and people will watch that video and then be like, I'm bald. How am I supposed to use this information? Which is ridiculous because like it's for people with hair, right? But then other people will go to the comments and be like, yeah, she's so ableist because she doesn't care about people who have hair loss and people who can't use this product. All she cares about is herself. What? And then those people will then create videos about you online to be like, yeah, I hate all of her content because all she talks about is her hair and how she uses hair steamer and she just does not care about people with hair loss. She's so ableist. She does all this all the time and it's so ridiculous. And they will acquire a following based on hate videos about you. It is absolutely insane, the lack of not only reading comprehension skills, but also critical thinking skills. And a lot of times I will look at my comments and just be terrified, like actually scared that a lot of people are incapable of recognizing, oh, this video is not for me, so I'm going to keep it moving. No, instead, people make everything about themselves and want to, I guess, shame people into catering to them in a weird way. Another example, this has happened so many times, is I will do, let's say like I recently did a giveaway on my Instagram for Black women who want to be creators. And it was a giveaway for my creator course. So in the video, I told you exactly what's in the creator course. And I was like, oh, such a great giveaway, right? All the Black women in my comment section were like, love this. This is great for us. There were so many Black women that are like, well, what about the Black men? Well, what about men? You just hate men and blah, blah. You're not my target audience. You never will be. The fact is that like the video on itself said for Black women, right? And people just get so upset when a video is not catered to them specifically. Like if you talk to just Black women or if you talk to just Hispanic women or just whoever, everyone's up in arms about everything all the time. After a while, you just become incredibly numb to the comment section because it is like no matter what you do, someone is going to say something about it and someone is going to have a 30-minute video essay about you somewhere about something that you said that is just so insignificant and so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. All right, now I'm going in with some skincare, but in just recognizing on the internet, it makes it less fun to actually be on this side of the camera because keep in mind, and people have talked about this before, influencing is very much a parasocial relationship with your audience where like I have no idea who is on the other side of this video once it's posted. I genuinely don't. I can, guess from the comments, I can guess from my subscribers, I can guess from different things, but at the end of the day, you have no idea who is watching you. And it is absolutely ridiculous. Like I can make a video about Black girl natural hairstyles and white people will go on that video, talk about it, and troll the video. What is the reason? What was the reason? It doesn't make any sense. And a lot of influencers, at least influencers that I know that also became influencers by accident, started this because it was something that they really enjoyed. But the bigger you get and the better you get at your job, the less likely you are to, I guess, have the same joy for it because there are all these other nuances that get in the way, such as the parasocial relationships with your audience. Speaking of which, let's get into that because for one thing, I don't think I am a large creator, but it is very strange how some people will respond to certain things that I do online. And I have gotten comments before where someone will say, oh, wow, India, I just didn't expect that from you. That's just so surprising. I'm so disappointed in you. I'm sorry, what? I think people forget that I don't know who they are. Like, I don't know who's watching the video unless I've met you in person. And meeting people in person tends to go positive for me, thankfully. I haven't had any negative experiences with meeting people in person. Sometimes it is very eerie, I will say, because anytime that you make a video, right, you post it, you have no idea who's going to, you have no idea who's on the other side of the phone, you don't know who's watching it, like, you don't know where it's going. And in a lot of ways, that's great because there's like anonymity to it. So you don't know who's watching your video. So therefore, like, there is a comfort in being able to post the things that you want to post. But at the same time, like, when I have run into people in real life, it's kind of interesting to know like how they connect to my videos and how they, I guess, see themselves in me, regardless of age or gender or race. Like, people do watch my videos for the right reasons, will connect with my videos and, you know, see a human behind the screen. But I think after a certain level, and I don't know if it's like follower count or just like your length of time on the internet, but after a while, people will start to not see you as human. Like, people will just think that you are, I guess, an animated being. And I think it comes from when you reach a certain level of success or perceived success, because people don't know how well you are or are not doing behind the scenes. So people will just see whatever you post and will judge you based on whatever you are posting, and therefore treat you less of a human because of the things that you have or your perceived, I don't know, wealth or status or whatever it may be. And in some ways, I'm actually really happy that I haven't had any negative experiences with people that I have met in person that follow me. But I've definitely heard of other influencers that have met some of their followers and they were, let's say, like busy or, you know, running late for something. They're like, oh, so sorry, but I have to go. And afterwards, their followers will go and make videos about them and be like, oh, they're not the person I thought they were. They're just so fake online. Like, they were so rude to me. It was like, no, they were actually in a rush because they had a meeting and they said, sorry, like, I can't talk. I can't take a picture. I really have to go. So things like that are very strange. The parasocial relationships between influencers and their audiences is actually quite terrifying, or it can be in some regard. Like I said, I haven't noticed it too much with my own, but I have gotten those comments where people were like, wow, I'm just so disappointed in you. Where it's like, I don't know who you are. You don't know me in real life. And the other thing is, no matter how much I post, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, no matter what platforms I post on, no matter what I share on my social media, like, there is just no way that you're going to know the true me and who I am at my core. Like, that is something that you just get in person. And several interactions in person, especially now, I am less likely to be as open with people. I think that's also another side effect of being an influencer, is that I am just less trusting of people overall because of the things that can and have happened on the internet. But that being said, there is just no way for you to get to know the true actual me from my content. And people use your content as a way to judge completely who you are through and through. Like, if there is something that I say that people don't like, all of a sudden now I'm the fakest person ever walked the planet Earth. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. But moving on, the other thing that people don't tell you about is the fact that being online, no matter what niche you are in, no matter what you talk about, no matter how you portray yourself online, there will always be a man in your DMs asking you if you are single. And it is the most frustrating thing of my entire existence. I get so annoyed. I block any man that tries to slide my DMs. It's so frustrating to me because on my social media, I rarely ever talk about relationships. I rarely talk about my personal life. If I do, it's a story of something that happened years ago. Like, I am just not open about that. That's not an open topic that I discuss online. There are influencers that do discuss those topics in real time and they are open about it and they are okay with that. I'm not one of them. Yet, no matter how many times I tell people that my relationship status is none of your goddamn business, people are still going to ask about it, and it's always going to be a thirsty man behind that comment or behind that DM. So yeah, I have gotten to a point where I just block any man who tries to slide in my DMs because, for one thing, this is my job. Like, I don't go to your job and email you all goddamn day. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, can I take you on a date? Oh, are you single? Are you single? Like, that shit gets annoying. Anytime I will voice my boundaries, I guess, online and say, I don't talk about relationship online. I don't care about it. Like, leave me alone. I don't even bother. Man will be like, oh, so then how do you want to be approached? Like, what's your preference for being approached by someone who's interested in you? My preference is I don't want to be approached online. Leave me alone. That's my preference. And for whatever reason, that's just like so hard for certain people to understand. Couldn't tell you why, but it just is, I guess. That part is extremely annoying because it's like, no matter what you do, like, you're always going to get new followers every day, or you're going to get new people coming to your profile every day and just being curious about you. And because of that, I guess they feel obligated or they just have to know. It's the weirdest phenomenon. And again, I'm not the only person that has experienced this online. And for one thing, being an influencer has really changed my relationship with dating because I don't like dating people who follow me online. When you date someone in real life, like let's say I'm not an influencer. When you date someone, you either meet them through someone else, right? Or you meet them, online through like an app or something, or you meet them in the wild. They have no idea who you are. It's just, you're both anonymous people, two strangers coming together and getting to know each other on the same basis. But when you are an influencer, it is extremely hard for you to have that type of relationship because there are just so many things on the interwebs about you, whether it be positive or negative or, on your own profile or on someone else's profile. So essentially, at some point, you are either going to pop up on their For You page, which has happened to me before, or they are going to find your social media, right? Or they're going to ask your social media and it becomes a conversation of like, I don't want to share my social media because my life is on, like part of my life, at least a snippet of my life is on the internet and I don't want you to get to know me in that way. I want you to get to know me as a stranger, and people don't like that. Or you just agree not to share your social media with each other and then you have to like get to know them. But again, you just like randomly pop up on their For You page and then all of your internet life is just for them to, judge and get to know you. If a guy is like watching you online and learn things about you, I guess that shows that he's like interested in you, but at the same time, get to know me in real life. Because as someone who creates the content, I know that the content that I share is only a little snippet, like a 1% of my entire life. But if people see your Instagram or see your, social media, whatever, before they meet you in real life, they already have these preconceived notions about you and they've already decided who you are before you have even gotten to know who they are, right? So they know who you are, you don't know who they are. It is a very imbalanced situation. It's why I hate online dating and I hate when people try to slide my DMs online. I prefer to meet people in real life, in the wild. I don't want to be bothered with online dating. I don't want to be associated with it at all. But that being said, being an influencer and dating is extremely difficult because there's just so many judgments that people make on you. If you were let's say an accountant, like an actual accountant, a TikTok accountant. But if I were an accountant, there would be like only pictures of my family and, just like small things on my Instagram, right? But me being an influencer now, it like totally changes the game and like people are less likely to be able to get to know you. It's really frustrating. So yeah, I don't date online. Anywho, moving on. The other thing about being an influencer is that I've kind of touched on this before, but that your trust in people just definitely changes. I am very hesitant to meet real people in real life if they know me from online because they already have these preconceived notions of me or an idea of who they think I am, and then they try to like fit that mold of who they think I would want them to be. It gets very strange very quickly. And my closest relationships that I have maintained have been from my pre-influencer days because those are people who know me like through and through. They know me in real life. And although they say that my content online is very much me, like it's on brand, like it is who I am. Like it's just, you don't get to see all of India online. So there's just no way that you can really know who I truly am. Now, the other thing, and on a much, much lighter topic, is that sometimes other influencers have really, really great giveaways and I want to participate in them, but I feel like I should not, and I'm not able to because a lot of times influencers will give away the PR that they receive, and a lot of us get a lot of the same PR, and that's on purpose. So if you're in a niche, let's say like lifestyle, but your aesthetic is like mine, that's like, like neutral tones or earthy or just like a clean girl type of aesthetic, we're all gonna get the same products from the same brands. But occasionally everyone gets a wild card. That's at least what I call it. And a lot of times people have really great giveaways that I want to participate in, but I feel like it's just unfair for me to participate in them, even though like we all kind of do the same job, if that makes sense. The other thing I will say is that people typically believe that influencers are lying online, and I have never come across anyone that I have found to be lying. Like they like have this, entirely different persona online, and then in person they're a totally different person. I've never experienced that in real life. I've never met an influencer in real life and I've gone to their Instagram and they're like totally different on Instagram. So like I don't know where this whole thing came from of like, oh, all influencers are fake, they're all just pretending, they're all just flashy and I've literally have never experienced that, but I have experienced that people will meet me in real life. They won't know that I'm an influencer, right? So I'm just like a normal person that whether I like, just play tennis or I don't know, they met me through some avenue of something. And then I'll tell them I'm an influencer and all of a sudden the entire vibe changes. And now I'm being judged for my job. And typically when people do go to my profile, the first thing that you see is me in my graduation regalia. So you can see that I got my PhD almost over a year ago. and people will then change again and be like, oh wow, like you're actually smart. And I think there's just this judgment on influencers that influencers are not smart people, when, like I said in the beginning, it takes a lot to become a successful influencer that is monetized and is paying their bills every single month. Like, this is not like you just post a video, you go viral, and then all of a sudden you're getting paid for the next 10 years. Like, it doesn't work like that. And although it is a very simple job, like I'm not doing any physical labor behind the scenes here, like that's not a secret, but it does take a different type of work that a lot of people just aren't used to doing. I think because of that, people just automatically associate influencing with stupidity, and that's not what it is at all. Like, a lot of the most successful influencers that I know are extremely intelligent, like evil geniuses in a way. And I'm like, wow, I love it. And I don't mean like evil and that they're like bad people, they're like mean girls or something, but they're just so smart and they really study their craft so well that they know how to connect their audience. They know how to show different products. They know how to do different things. And a lot of people cannot do it. Like I said, a lot of people, and 50% of people that are adults, don't have reading comprehension skills. So yeah, it does take a little much to actually be a successful influencer and be monetized. The last thing I want to say, and this one is kind of a touchy subject, but if you are someone who is not able to hold yourself to your own word, as in you can't keep a promise to yourself to save your life, this is not gonna be the job for you, because it is so easy. And as someone who's doing Vlogmas right now, it is so easy for me to wake up and not post a video. It is so easy for me to wake up and go on my life and just not even do this, because everything is so self-driven. So if you are someone who cannot keep up with your own goals, if you cannot keep promises to yourself, if you cannot trust yourself that you're going to actually do something, this is not going to be for you. It's never going to be a job for you. So yeah, like all the brand trips and all the gifting and all the stuff that you see, the fancy events and everything, like it's all very cute, but you're never going to actually get there if you don't actually keep any promises to yourself. So this concludes this entire video. Oh wait, okay, yeah, I did put on my moisturizer. So yeah, this concludes this whole video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.